And you said her block was better.
Her block was better because Leash don't even supposed to be blocking shots. and she blocked it, and Leash was like, yeah! I was like, okay, Leash, period.
Angel Reese just got a fresh start. New city, new team, a new logo across her jersey, and a completely different environment. She entered the 2026 WNBA season with the Atlanta Dream determined to show that her time in Chicago was now behind her. The trade itself was massive, costing 2 first-round picks. Atlanta's front office made it clear they believed she was worth that price. But then opening night arrived, and what unfolded on the court painted a very different picture.
Angel Reese might have the worst layup package in basketball history, just throwing up shots in her Atlanta Dream debut and praying they go in.
An offensive rebound by Reese, who's a wrecking ball inside, gets her own miss again. So a minute to go in the first quarter as Reese working from the perimeter, the spin move. I mean, it's just been so rushed and so tight for her, and so she's had some time. Reese inside is no good. Angel Reese, 1 of 5.
She finished the game shooting 4 for 11 from the field. During one first-half possession, she missed 3 straight attempts at the basket. She also went 3 for 6 from the free throw line and turned the ball over 5 times. Then, in the opening quarter, she picked up a technical foul that gave Minnesota an extra point. That moment ended up becoming even more important because Atlanta escaped with a 91-90 victory. The Dream won by just 1 point, meaning that technical foul nearly became the difference between winning and losing the game.
32 minutes, 11 points, 4 of 11 shooting? 4 of 11, 3 for 6 from the free throw line, 5 turnovers, 14 rebounds. The headlines are Angel Reese gets a double-double in Dream debut, clinching comeback. Angel Reese leads the Dream. I come over here and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Ryan Howard had 15 points in the game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
That is not a terrible game by itself. Every player has off nights. Every player goes through stretches where shots stop falling, turnovers pile up, and things simply do not click offensively. That is part of basketball. But what many people focused on afterward was that these struggles did not feel entirely unfamiliar. To a lot of observers, some of the same concerns that followed Angel Reese during her time with the Chicago Sky still appeared in this performance. The team changed, the jersey changed, and the city changed, but questions about consistency around the rim and offensive efficiency were still part of the conversation after the opener.
She clearly could have just got to the basket for the layup, but they want that 3-point shot. Taking it to the 5 fouls as Miles throws it away. A 2-on-1 for Reese, who gallops to the rim. Can't finish the lay-in. On the attack, blocked by Kosu, who leaped for the swat. Poked away, ball up for grabs. In the hands of Gray, and now Canada with 10 to shoot, but a foul is called, rather a timeout. A frenetic...
And the main focus continues to be the paint. More specifically, what happens once Angel Reese gets there. Because when you actually watch the full game film instead of only the highlights, a consistent pattern starts to appear. Reese is often able to get to her spots, create contact, and establish strong position near the basket. She has the size, physicality, and footwork to put herself in scoring opportunities. But the issue many critics continue to point out is the finishing. Too often, the possession breaks down at the final moment, with shots around the rim failing to convert even after she successfully does the hard work of getting into position.
All right, Dream, y'all need to stop. Oh, there he goes. Look at the defense. Pushing up the court. Come on. Come on. If she missed this, she better make that. Get a good play. Come on. Oh, come on, Angel. Get that. Come on, put it in there. That's... Oh. Okay, get some. 1. Oh, shoot. Oh, good block. Good defense.
Her supporters pointed to the huge block late in the game, and to be fair, it was a big moment. It was an athletic defensive play that helped secure Atlanta's win in the closing seconds against Nafisa Collier, and many fans treated it as proof that everything was working perfectly. The highlight clips spread quickly online, and the double-double stat line grabbed attention everywhere. 11 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 steals certainly looks impressive on paper. But many people who watched the full game felt those numbers also hid some of the offensive struggles that were still present, especially around her shooting efficiency, something Reese herself admitted afterward she was not satisfied with.
My experience has been great because we got a win. It was rough for me tonight, but this is what you call a team. Being able to have players that have your back, and always will pick you up, even when you're not having the best game, and always in your ear, putting a lot of confidence into you. So it's been great. I'm happy we got the win tonight, and we just continue to grow and get better because this wasn't our best.
It was tough for me, obviously, because I didn't finish well tonight, and I was really hard on myself, Reese said after the game. To her credit, she acknowledged the struggles directly instead of avoiding them. She recognized the same issues many viewers noticed while watching the game film. But recognizing a problem and actually fixing it are two different things. Right now, based on the early performances and the patterns people have continued to discuss, many critics feel the same concerns about her finishing consistency are still present.
Rebound. Here we go. You know her. She ain't going to pass it out. Just flung it up there. Just bleep it. Flung it up there. Here we go. Driving. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing? What? Why are you driving? Oh man, wow.
Because here's the part many Angel Reese supporters are hesitant to fully address. These concerns did not suddenly appear in one opening night game. Questions about finishing around the rim, free throw consistency, and turnovers were already part of the conversation during her time in Chicago. Throughout stretches of last season, those issues repeatedly showed up in key moments and became a major talking point among analysts and fans. The Sky's struggles were not viewed as only a coaching or a roster issue. Many observers believed offensive inconsistency from key players also played a role in the team's performance. Around the league, opposing teams clearly noticed those patterns as well. That's part of why players sometimes spoke confidently about matchups against Chicago. It was less about disrespect and more about believing they could exploit certain weaknesses through pressure and physical defense. In Atlanta's opener, Minnesota appeared to follow a similar approach, crowding Reese in the paint and forcing difficult finishes while daring the Dream to beat them elsewhere offensively.
His first lead of the game was in the last 11 seconds of the fourth quarter. Thanks to this girl here, Tahina Pow, she hit the game winner. I'm gonna look at it right now. Right here, she hit a 16-foot go-ahead jumper with 11 seconds remaining in the game. That was their first lead. Head coach Carl Semesco said this is a great shot for Powell, but he almost took it away and was really close to calling timeout because things started breaking down around that point. He's very glad that he didn't and that she took the shot. The team looked like a whole different team by the time the second half came around. Our defense was better. A major shout out to Powell for that game-winning jumper. And I know.
Let's talk about that first half sequence specifically because it deserves attention on its own. 3 straight missed shots during the same possession, not across different trips down the floor, but all in one sequence, in nearly the exact same spot against the same defender. And this happened in the opening game of the season with a new team, where Reese was trying to establish herself right away. Many analysts would argue that goes beyond simple bad luck. To them, it points toward issues with finishing mechanics, shot control, and decision-making around the basket. Missing multiple attempts in that kind of situation often suggests something in the process, whether it is footwork, balance, release timing, or positioning, is not fully working. What made the moment even tougher was the technical foul earlier in the game. Picking up a technical in the first quarter, especially while your team is already struggling in a hostile road environment, can quickly become costly. Minnesota's crowd had energy, Atlanta was already trailing, and giving away a free point only increased the pressure. Critics viewed it as a moment where composure was needed most, especially from one of the team's biggest names. Those are the types of moments coaches and players usually revisit closely during film sessions afterward.
Was part of an incredible sequence to seal a 19-point comeback from Atlanta to win the game. That sequence all started with the game-winning shot by Tahina Pow. Angel looked great, but Atlanta was led in points, of course, by Alicia Gray with 24. She led all scorers. This was a great win for Atlanta, but we can't let Olivia Miles' performance go unnoticed. She had the best debut weekend of any rookie so far. Finally, this game made history for Angel Reese. This was her 50th career double-double, making her the fastest player in league history to reach this mark.
Now, this is where the conversation becomes much more complicated because of the fan response surrounding Angel Reese. She is one of the most loyal, passionate, and protective fan bases in the entire WNBA. She is not just a basketball player to many people, she is also a major cultural figure. She built that platform herself, and the impact she has on attention, ticket sales, and visibility around the league is absolutely real. No honest discussion ignores that part of the story, but at the same time, many critics believe the public conversation around her game sometimes overlooks important details. After the double-double against Minnesota, a large portion of the online reaction treated the performance like it completely answered every criticism in one night. The milestone itself was impressive. Becoming the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 50 career double-doubles is a real accomplishment. But some analysts argue you can recognize the achievement while still evaluating the overall performance honestly beyond the box score. That is the tension surrounding Angel Reese right now. Highlights often dominate the conversation, while the full game film can tell a more complicated story. The stat sheet shows one version of events, but the tape reveals the details possession by possession. And for many people watching closely, the opening night tape in 2026 looked very similar to some of the same patterns and questions that followed her near the end of her time with the Chicago Sky.
I can't believe some of you watched this shit, unironically. I mean, not gonna lie, this looks bad. I coach 8th grade boys, and I would have set one of my boys down mid-game and asked him what he thinks he's accomplishing. Damn. Wow. Shiznit. Got to be more careful. She is quite possibly the worst player in the entire league, and that's saying a lot. I'm glad they won for her teammates, but it's not because of her. That's not what...
The Atlanta Dream did not give up 2 first-round picks simply to add another rebounder. Rebounding was already an area where they had solid frontcourt talent, including players like Brianna Jones. What Atlanta truly invested in was the idea of Reese becoming a dependable interior scorer, someone who could finish in traffic, draw contact, convert free throws, and force defenses to collapse inside so players like Ryan Howard and Alisha Gray could get cleaner looks on the perimeter. That is the vision behind the move. That is why the trade makes sense, but only if the finishing develops into something consistently reliable. Right now, many observers would say that consistency is still a work in progress. That does not automatically make the trade a mistake. It simply means there is still development ahead. It also means the Dream coaching staff, including head coach Carl Smesko, who praised Reese's performances in practice before the opener, now has a very clear area to focus on. Practice shots and game shots are not the same thing, especially in a tight 91-90 game with a loud Minnesota crowd and real pressure attached to every possession. One environment prepares you. The other is where results actually matter.
This is why I think Angel Reese struggles at finishing at the rim and how I would fix it. All right, so number one, obviously Angel Reese is left-handed. Her offhand, her right hand, is really bad. Now your offhand is never gonna be as good as your dominant hand, but it shouldn't be so bad that you just can't use it. Number two, she struggles at making contact with part of her body and having soft touch with the other part of her body. Meaning, when this part of her body has to be super strong and tense, this part of her body has to have soft touch and be more gentle. But when this part of the body is doing this, the other part of her body is doing the same thing. So I would say a majority of her workouts and her drills has to have some sort of contact.
The missed layups are the most noticeable sign of a deeper issue, and many analysts would argue it cannot simply be brushed off as one bad game. When a player repeatedly misses high-percentage shots near the basket, not difficult jumpers or heavily contested threes, but close-range attempts where she already has strong positioning, it usually points toward problems with either finishing mechanics or shot selection. The important part is that both areas can be improved, but neither fixes itself automatically. What Reese likely needs, and what Atlanta's coaching staff needs to focus on, is detailed film study and development work specifically centered around her finishing package. Her rebounding ability is already proven and well established. That part of her game is real. But if the 2026 season continues with missed opportunities around the rim becoming a consistent issue, it could limit Atlanta's overall ceiling regardless of how many double-doubles she records. Even Reese herself acknowledged after Game 1 that the finishing struggles were an area she was unhappy with.
I mean, it was tough for me, obviously, because I didn't finish well tonight and I was really hard on myself. But I mean, this is what basketball is, and we talk about it all the time about next best action and being able to be ready for the next possession. And I knew I needed to come up for my teammates on that last possession and get that block, and no matter what happened before that. So I just give kudos to my teammates for continuing to instill confidence into me. My rookie year, I probably would have just melted down and not been able to fight back and just be able to come out with that big block. So shout out to my teammates.
Good. That mindset matters. Carry it into every practice and every film session. Because the teams Atlanta hopes to compete with in 2026, Minnesota, New York, Las Vegas, are not going to offer easier opportunities around the rim than the Lynx did. If anything, those defenses will be even tougher, more physical, and more disciplined. And if the current finishing efficiency does not improve, it becomes difficult for the Dream to fully reach the level they envisioned when they traded 2 first-round picks to acquire her. The biggest question is not whether Angel Reese struggled in the opener. She clearly did, and she openly admitted that afterward. The bigger question is whether 2026 becomes the season where those long-discussed weaknesses finally improve, or whether the same patterns continue. Right now, based on the available sample size, the film from Chicago, the shooting percentages, the missed layups, the turnovers, and moments where emotions spill over into technical fouls, many observers feel the concerns still look very familiar. The city changed. The jersey changed. The teammates changed. But the game tape still shows possessions where shots near the basket fail to fall when they are expected to. And at this point in the 2026 season, that pattern remains a major storyline surrounding her game. Atlanta invested heavily to bring Angel Reese to the Dream. Whether that move ultimately transforms both her game and the team's future is still a question that only the rest of the season can answer.